Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Altaf Rezayan. ID number 183200034. Okay, right now I will presentation about my proposal thesis. The title is The Inner Conflict of Alif in Novel The Land of Five Tower. Okay, the next is about introduction in my proposal. In the first paragraph, discuss about what kind of literary work. This explain about reflection of society with the literary work. With the explained by seperti Djoko Damono as a strongest the argument. In the second paragraph, there is explain about the novel have a correlation between psychology and literature. So both of the both physiology and literature carry a message in their story. And the third paragraph, it more detail. It touch my object, that is Negeri Lima Menara or the land of the five tower. Okay, the next is about this question. In my proposal, I have a three research question. The first is asked about what are the forms of inner conflict experienced by the main character in novel Negeri Lima Menara. The second one, the factors that cause the inner conflict of the main character of the novel Negeri Lima Menara. And the third is how to resolve the inner conflict in the novel Negeri Lima Menara. In the first question, I praising about how I saw where is placed inner conflict by the main character in the Negeri Lima Menara. And the second one, I saw about the factors from my theory in inner conflict of the main character. In the third question, I praise about the resolve the inner conflict in the novel Negeri Lima Menara. Next, in my proposal thesis, I use theory by Kurt Lewin about the psychological approach to discuss about the form of conflict. It seems with the conflict theory, but it's more near with the psychological. The next is about objective. This study aims to reveal the inner conflict in Negeri Lima Menara experienced by the main character in accepting his parents' decision. I use a parent decision to ask Alif as a main character in Negeri Lima Menara to go boarding school out of their province. And next is this study aims to explain the inner conflict in the main character Alif. This study focused on discussing the inner conflict of the main character with Kurt Lewin's approach to the novel Negeri Lima Menara. The next is about data sources. I'm sorry. The data sources and data Negeri Lima Menara, the works by Ahmad Fuadi, published by Kompas Gramedia in July 2009, consisting of 416 pages. The novel Negeri Lima Menara was appointed on the big screen on in the first March. The next in 2012 with the same title in the novel, sources of data are used to find the inner conflict experienced by the main character, the cause of the inner conflict experience. The resolution of the inner conflict of the main character in novel Negeri Menara in terms of Kurt-Lewin's theory and conflict theory that like that. The next is data collection technique. The technique used in this research is library technique. The data obtained are also supported by primary and secondary data. Primary data consists of the reading and note-taking from the novel and use a technique, note-taking techniques. While secondary data is library techniques. Stage of the data collection techniques as follow. The first is to determine the source of the data that has been researched, namely the novel Negeri Lima Menara by Ahmad Fuadi. Second one is determine the initial reading and continue by determining the title of the research used. The third is determining focus on the problem according to the chosen title, namely the inner conflict of the main character in novel Negeri Lima Menara through conflict theory. The focal point of the problem is on the inner conflict experienced by the main character, the factors behind the inner conflict, the form of the problem solving on the main character. And the fourth, conduct a literature review to avoid plagiarism from previous data. The fifth, collect data according to the chosen approach. The next, the sixth, read the novel chosen as the object carefully. The seventh, mark the part of the novel that becomes the data in research. 8. Describing all the data obtained. The ninth, record the descriptive data in accordance with the focus of the problem into the data card. The last, 10. The last is recording novel as data on the specified problems. I'm sorry. Okay, data analysis technique. The data collection technique is in the study is a hermeneutic analysis technique. The heuristic analysis technique is a step to find meaning through studying the structure of language by interpreting literary text referentially. This step assumes that language is a referential, meaning that it must be related to real things. According to Theo 23:102, hermeneutic is the skill of interpreting literary works and language expression in a broad sense according to their intention. There are three components in the process, namely, the first is expressing words to say, starting from a comprehensive interpretation that is temporary to interpret the elements well. Second is explain, interpreting the parts of parts to improve understanding of the whole work more precisely and perfectly in each part. The third is translating or to translate, obtained from the integration of the meaning of the total and the meaning of the optimal part. Okay. There are two previous related studies. The first is the work thesis by Nurul Pratiwi, 2020, that have a title Inner Conflict, Main Character from the novel Aku Lupa Bahwa Aku Perempuan, work by Hasan Abdul Qudus. The second one is the thesis by Wiwi Rahayu, 2015. I'm sorry. Yes, 2015. The title is Inner Conflict, the Main Character from novel Detik Terakhir karya by Arbetens Endah. Okay. The last is about references. I make the proposal based on some references. The first from the Yudhoyono Ajeng, from the thesis Inner Conflict, the main character Dini, from the novel Sebuah Lorong di Kotaku by N.H. Dini. Second is the book by Sapardi Djoko Darmono, 2020. Title is Literature Sociology atau Sosiologi Sastra. The last is the novel Ahmad Fuadi, 29. The title is The Negeri Lima Menara, published by Gramedia. Okay, thank you. Is enough from me, but my proposal is this. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.